the accident. I will put that up as a short later. There was an RV camper with a one of the tow kinds of RVs that was being towed by a pickup truck, and the pickup truck caught on fire, and it was burned down to a crisp. It was completely burnt down to a crisp, like to the frame. Frame was even probably partially melted. I'm not sure what temperature the pickup truck got up to, but it was bad. So I have it all on film. I have it digitally recorded on my SD card, and yeah, it's a bunch of fire trucks, a bunch of police, but it wasn't an actual collision accident. It was, I guess it's still an accident when a truck or car or anything else catches on fire. I mean, that is an accident. So the pickup truck was burnt to a crisp. I don't know if anyone got injured. I will say I think it's kind of odd. This road is really bad. I will say it's kind of odd. This road is really freaking bad. I will say it's kind of odd how quickly the accident came up. What I mean by that is, like, it did look like the firemen had just stopped putting out the flames, but I feel like there should have been more of a delay. What I mean, I feel like I should have been further back in traffic. I guess the only thing I could say is that it was pretty fresh, and the fire trucks and police came from the other direction. Actually, I'm fairly certain they did come from a cut in the road, like I was saying, during the actual accident stream, because there was trucks and cars, fire trucks and police cars in the median, because they had come from the other direction. No fire trucks or police cars came from my direction as far as I can tell, and I think that is true, just because of how narrow the shoulders were. So all the fire trucks and police responded from the other direction for the fire that was on my side of the road. I think I'm passing, where am I? God, I'm so bad. One of my major geographical knowledge areas that is kind of blank is where rivers exist in certain states. Like, I passed over a massive river, and that has to be one of the major rivers in the U.S. And I am not going to say, could it? You know what? I think that was the Mississippi River. I really freaking hope it was, because I don't like being wrong on stuff like that. I just don't. So, we are about to enter Kentucky. We were in Illinois, and we are entering Kentucky right freaking now. Welcome to Kentucky, everyone. Is it, what do they say, Kentucky? Is this the bluegrass state? Or is that, I'm not sure. Paducah, P-A-D-U-C-A-H. Paducah, Kentucky. That reminds me of the Padishah Emperor in Dune. So, if you guys didn't know, the Dune series has, and this is not even a joke, the Dune series has, like, I think it's either 19, 20, or 21 books. So, I read Dune, obviously. Dune was the first book I read. And then I'm reading the entire series. So I think I'm on the 6th or 7th book. They're each, like, absolute tomes, just like Dune is. So I'm on the 6th or 7th book of the Dune series as we speak. And the Dune series is either 19, 20, or 21 books long, which is an incredible amount of books, obviously. I will finish at some point. I mean, I'm a third of the way through, so I'll finish. What's up? So we're in Paducah, Kentucky. Not Padusha, not the Padusha Emperor in Dune, the Emperor, a Carino family. No, we're in Paducah, Kentucky, and we're headed to the middle of Tennessee. I'm spending a lot of time in Tennessee over the next like 36 hours. I'm dropping this trailer off, and I'm going like 150 miles to pick another trailer up. I'm bringing that to a supermarket tomorrow morning, and then I'm going back to the same place I'm picking this next trailer up at, and then I'm headed to Ohio after that. So if you guys are interested in trucking, there is money out here. I do make a good amount of money. It is extremely hard, stressful work. Even once you get used to it, it's extremely hard, stressful work, because once you get used to it, there's just more of it because you have the potential to make more money because of your experience level. When you start out, you might make a pittance, a small amount of money. You really just have to get through the first year or two to get a better job than you can get. And the thing is, like it's like anything else. It's not anything else, but you really have to get through those first couple years of driving a truck to get near any kind of money. But there's a lot of work. There's a lot of well-paid work. Well, maybe not well-paid, because I think I should earn more. I think other people should earn more. But relatively well-paid. Like if I told you how much I made, you'd be like, "Wow, that's a really good amount of money." Or some of you would say that. I think for the majority of people, they would say like that. What I made was a good amount of money. And it's always possible to make this kind of money on a truck, but you do need experience. Without experience, you can get a job driving a truck. You're just not going to make that much money out of the gate. France together right now, then I would speak some of my French, but I'm not going to embarrass myself on stream. I'm just not. I can pretty much order food, ask how someone is, and ask directions confidently, and that's about it. I did know more French at some point, and I'm sure I can get it back, but right now it has left the building. $10 p.m. Okay. What time is it here? It is 3 o'clock or 1500 here. It's 10 p.m. there. Okay. So, okay. So does France have, okay, I thought France was on the same, or I know, well, I don't know. Are there different time zones in France? One. And is France in the same time zone as the UK? I thought it was, but I guess not. Because in the UK right now, if I'm not mistaken, it's 9 p.m., right? This is one of those things I get mixed up a little. I know it changes during the summer, so it's either 5 or 4 hours, I believe. I used to think it was like a 5 or 6 hour difference. I believe it's a 5 or 4 hour difference, depending on what season of the year it is. Has anyone driven a Tesla Cybertruck? One of the only vehicles on the road that I have never driven is a Tesla, so I've definitely not driven a Tesla Cybertruck. But I'm wondering if anyone has driven a Tesla Cybertruck. I met this guy at a poker table a few weeks ago who claimed to have a Tesla Cybertruck, but I'm not sure I believed him, just because like the limits I was playing were kind of low. Doesn't mean he didn't have a Tesla Cybertruck. I don't know. Not that a Tesla Cybertruck is a Lamborghini, but when you play poker, everyone or most people are lying. Everyone is lying. So whatever someone tells me at a poker table, I generally don't believe. Thanks for the hearts, guys. No, I don't know if you got me, but I was asking, like, are there multiple time zones in France, or is it just one? It's 9 p.m. in Britain, or at least parts of Britain. So I thought France was the same time zone as Britain. So I guess I'm wrong, because I think it's 9 p.m. in Britain. So I'm just wondering. For those of you who are watching during the accident stream a few minutes ago, I will put up that accident scene on shorts later. The only reason I didn't keep streaming is because no one watches these streams over. If people actually watch these streams over, then I would have kept it running, but like, no one watches these streams over. It's kind of annoying. Some crazy stuff, some cool stuff happens in a lot of these streams. And I know part of that is on me, is that I'm not editing the streams, or sometimes I'm not even changing the stream to a regular video. I just don't have a lot of time out here. I run really hard. So when I'm not driving, I'm exercising, eating, or sleeping, or talking on the phone to some crazy girl. But generally I talk on the phone with the crazy women. this is what 68 miles an hour. Oh, 69 miles. This is what 69 miles. Oh, 68. This is what 68 or 69 miles looks like an hour. 68 or 69 miles an hour looks like in a semi. The data disconnected or went flat for a second, but we are back. It is 15:20 or 3:20 in the afternoon. We are on Central Standard Time, and we are in Kentucky, in the mid-eastern part, that's not really a word, but the mid-eastern part of the United States. Kentucky is definitely not the Midwest, and it is definitely not the East Coast, but it is mid-eastern, so there you go. I would say, and you guys can disagree with me if you want, but I would say Kansas City has the most influence from all parts of the United States. Like, so Kansas City is like, not necessarily like the true melting pot of the United States, but it has a little culture from every single part of the United States within it. So like there is like northeastern vibes going on. There's some remnants of the South in Kansas City. There's some remnants of like the West, and obviously it's in the Midwest, so there's a lot of Midwestern culture there. There's some Chicago elements in Kansas City, to be certain. Kansas City and Chicago are fairly relatively close together, but Kansas City, I have found, has the most mix of the culture of the U.S., especially the food. You can get most any food in Kansas City. Now that's true of like most major U.S. cities, but I feel like Kansas City has the most mix of American culture than any other place in the United States. So if you want to experience, if you're not from here and you want to experience the United States and you don't have a lot of time to do it, go to Kansas City. It's not a bad idea. It's not the worst place in the world. I've had just one wild experience there, like excepting like the last few days where I was with that woman. I mean, she was a little crazy, but she wasn't that crazy. But I did, when I was moving to Colorado, I stopped at the casino in Kansas City for like a few minutes just to like take a break on the road, and I like was walking around the casino, and like this girl caught my eye. I think I caught her eye too, because we like kind of stopped like on the spot and started talking with each other. And so like she like came around with me, we played a little roulette, and I think I won like $150 like really quickly off like a, like I don't know, like a $10 or $20 bet, something like that. And then we had like a couple drinks, and then she was like, okay, I want to take you somewhere, but before we went there, you know, a screw that she had made, and there was like meth in it, and I don't care, I've done some crazy stuff. And then we went to Goodwill. We went to like this Goodwill distribution center and like looked around. I bought golf balls and like a book on bicycle maintenance. I can't make this stuff up, guys. Then, like, we went to the gas station, and I filled her tank with gas, because whatever. I had just won money playing roulette, and then we went to another casino where we drank some more, and she sat behind me while I played poker, and then I, like, sent her off with money to play slots, and she came back, and, like, whenever she came back, she would, like, put her hand down my pants, like, when it was... Got a hotel near the... We were there for, like, 2 days, and I was, like, up for 2 days because she kept on, like, feeding me meth. She didn't steal any of my money or anything like that. But it was a crazy, like, 3-day bender in Kansas City. Highly recommend that kind of 3-day bender. Nothing bad happened to me. I didn't catch anything from the girl. She didn't try to take my money. So, yeah, it was pretty good, pretty memorable, obviously, if I'm telling you the story right now. So that wasn't on the truck. That was just me moving across the United States from New York to Colorado. That was just me, like, randomly stopping in Kansas City at a casino. Walk to the bar, like, not to get a drink, just, like, I was just, like, looking around the casino. We both kind of, like, stopped in our tracks when we saw each other, started talking, and then that 3-day bender of drugs, alcohol, and sex happened. Which is not bad. Especially if there's no... like, really bad consequences after the fact. Because, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that could have turned out really bad for me, right? I mean, in a lot of ways, but everything was fine. Don't do drugs, kids. Oh, they're so bad for your body. No, they are. Yeah, it's true. See, what river was that? Like, you know, on a lot of these bridges, they don't have the name of the freaking river. I wish they did. But they don't put the name of the river all the time on these bridges, which is very... I'd like to know what the name of the river is. So, short version of what happened with me and this girl this week in Kansas City. I met her while shopping at Target a little more than a month ago in Kansas City. And whatever, we exchanged information, and she texted me really quick, which is always a good sign. She texted me in like 45 minutes, which is like super good sign, right? Super quick. We talked, we texted for the last few weeks, and I decided to take a break in Kansas City to visit her. We met up on Tuesday night, just to hang out, have dinner, etc. And we went to a bookstore, and then we went to a pizza restaurant, Old Chicago Pizza. And she was a vegan. She is a vegan. And they didn't really have a lot of good options for her. So we decided to walk to this other pizza place, which was like 1.5 miles, 2 miles away. But I always need exercise, and she's a fit woman, so she wanted to walk. So we walked like 1.5 miles, 2 miles to this other restaurant called Spin Pizza. I don't know if you guys have ever been there. I've never even heard of this place. Let me get into Spin Pizza a little. It was good, but it was super freaking expensive. So we both ordered our own pie because she's a vegan and I'm not. I'll eat vegan food if I have to, but like if I don't have to, like I'm gonna eat my food. I'm gonna eat whatever I feel like. So I got like this pretty good pizza. It was pepperoni, sausage, and meatball. I was gonna say no meatballs at first, but like I was like, you know what? No alterations. I'm just getting the freaking pizza, right? So I got my sausage, pepperoni, and meatball pizza. The only alteration I got like a little on the well done side, but it was banging. It was pretty good. But that freaking place is super expensive, guys. So the check without drinks. I always drink water with my meal. She like only drinks water too. Like, so we had a lot in common. Like there was like, I'm not saying like you should base your love life on what beverage you guys drink, but like the fact that she only drinks water generally and I only drink water generally, like that's an uncommon thing. So that's a good green flag, right? Whatever. So I guess this is the long version, but hey. Anyway, so this place is super expensive. So she got her like, it's like a little bigger than a personal pan, or it's like twice a personal pan, and I got like a size slightly up for my sausage, pepperoni, and meatball pizza. And the check was like $49.78, which is an incredible amount of money for like 2 small pizzas, and that's without tips. So the place is weird. So you go up to the counter and pay. You go up to the counter, order and pay, and then you go sit down, and then they bring you your pizza. So obviously we didn't pay for it. There was no charge for our drinks because it was water. And then I got a veterans discount, so it was like $43.65 or something like that. Still freaking expensive for what it was. And the people weren't very like responsive or good with I'm sorry, I'm just like paying attention to the road for a second. Anyway, so the people that worked there weren't very responsive or good at like knowing what we needed. So like I had to go up to the counter to get like water refills and stuff. So suffice to say, like the tip I left wasn't like, you know, an amazing amount because like they never really came to the table besides bringing us the pizza. So anyway, sorry guys, I'm still paying attention to the road. So anyway, the date was really good. She had her hands like all over me, which was nice. Like not like all over, but like in a good way, in a good amount. And we walked back to like our original starting point, and on the way back she fell because it was like really icy. There had just been snow and rain, and it was really cold in KC. So she fell on the walk home on ice, and she fell on she had jeans on, and one of her knees, it was like one of those jeans, but like she had a hole in her knee, like not from like, you know, styling wise. She fell on that knee, and she had a bloody knee. Like she cut up her knee pretty bad when she fell. So we went to Target. It's kind of funny because we met at Target. Anyway, we went to Target and we bought some medical tape and some gauze, and I cleaned up her knee and bandaged her up, which is, I mean, like obviously like that's like a really sweet like little intimate thing to do, especially on a first date. So that happened, and that was the end of the day. She went home. The next day, I was doing some work, some paperwork, and some other stuff, like some other housekeeping I had to do, stuff I don't necessarily have time to do on the truck. And she came to the hotel. She was like all over me in the hotel room. That led what that leads to, and we took an Uber to the mall after like this big shopping center. I think it was called Town Center in Kansas City. I think it was called the Town Center. It was called Town Center. We took an Uber to Town Center and we walked all around visiting stores. I got a hot chocolate at Barnes & Noble. She didn't want anything, and then she got hungry. And this is where it got interesting because she's vegan. I called a restaurant to see if I'm going to shorten it up here, and then I might tell the longer version later today or tomorrow, like the second half of the story, in a longer way. I called a couple of restaurants to see if they were vegan. We visited a few restaurants. She didn't like what was on the menu, even though they said it was vegan. She didn't trust them, so we ended up going to Cheesecake Factory, which she knew was vegan because she eats there, which she knew had vegan food because she eats there. And at Cheesecake Factory is where things really went off the rails. They had went off the rails like a little earlier in the day in certain ways, and I'll detail that, like I said, tonight or tomorrow. But things really went off the rails in Cheesecake Factory. We're sitting there, I'm eating this crappy chicken parm hero, and she's eating a veggie burger, and she asked a question about the bracelet I'm wearing. Like, she had already picked it up in the hotel room because it was on the nightstand. She had picked it up and said it was really nice. And anyway, we're in Cheesecake Factory, and she says, like, oh, like, that bracelet you're wearing is really nice. Where'd you get it? And I said, my ex gave it to me. And her face, like, turned, like, stone cold. And she started getting this attitude, and she's like, oh my God, I can't believe, you went on a date and you're wearing a bracelet your ex gave you. And I'm like, listen, we were together for years. Care about, we still support each other. Like, when it comes time to take off this bracelet, when I meet a woman who I'm gonna marry, I'll do so. And I was like, and if that woman wants to replace the bracelet or give me something else, she has all the right to do so. And if that's you, that's cool, you could replace the bracelet. Like, obviously I'm not asking her to buy me a piece of jewelry, I'm just saying, like, it's a replaceable thing, or I'm hinting at the fact that it'll come off at some point, but I'm not taking it off today. So, like I said, she got an attitude about it, and then got in a huff, and, like, she started, like, getting a little crazy. So I just got up from the dinner table, and I was like, okay, I'm out, have fun. I was like, I'll pay for your meal if you want, I don't care. She's like, no, I'll pay for it. So I let her pay for her meal, I pay for mine, and I'm like, I ordered an Uber, and I'm about to get in, and of course, she came up, like, 1 minute before I was headed out the door, and I'm a softie, so I let her get in the Uber with me, and, like, she's like looking like an invalid, staring at, like, the seat in front of her until I started, like, saying some things to her, because, like, I don't want to have, like, a weird ride. So we got back to my hotel, and she's, like, bickering at me in the lobby until we went up to my room because the desk clerk was, like, looking at us weird. And she bickered at me some more up there, and then she said I could come to her house and we could talk it through. We didn't have to go to her house. She had to get home because she has a dog. She had to take the dog out, which I totally understand. I'm like, I'm not gonna go through this, like, whole freaking night of us, like, of this drama, figuring our lives out, figuring us out. Like, I need to sleep. Like, I drive a freaking truck. I'm on break right now to have fun with you, but I'm also on break because I'm bone freaking tired and I need rest. So she left in a huff. I waited with her downstairs to get her Uber, and then she sent me, like, some weird text about how she's just telling me how she feels. There was more to it. second there, guys. Sorry about that. Generally, though, after all that, I'm not sure where it got cut off. She left the hotel room in a huff. I took her downstairs and she got in an Uber, and there's been no contact since besides one text she sent me about like her feelings or something like that. I just don't have the time out here for drama. Like, if you like me, that's fine. If I like you, that's awesome. If we're gonna get together and have a great time and maybe like have a future together, that's also fine. Like, I'm not just trying to like have fun out here necessarily. Like, I want a serious girlfriend, but if there's gonna be drama on the second freaking date or the second day, like, I can't deal with it. I have enough going on where I can't deal with like crazy freaking drama. So that's it. There's more I can say, but even though you guys will never know her name, I don't want to talk like that badly about her or like tell you why she might have been acting the way she did. I'm not gonna do that. What's up? How you doing? Need to know. I don't know if you needed to know everything I just said, but hopefully you guys like the story. It's pretty dreary outside, isn't it? Whatever the next truck stop is, whatever the next rest area is, I'm going to stop for a few minutes and either have, I think I'm going to have my Stouffer's that, I don't know. So one of my Stouffer's meals fell out of the freezer last night and I didn't see it because it was like crammed under something on the floor, and I noticed it this morning. I'm not sure if I should eat it. I probably shouldn't. It just sucks because it's food, plus it's money, and I feel like, I don't know, so I'm either going to have my jacked up Stouffer meal or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Where do I stop? If someone watching can tell me the quality of the stream right now, that'd be great. Like, what does the picture look like, etc. David, good evening to you too. these two cars coming up on the right are acting a little weird in their driving behavior. So I'm going to go by them as fast as possible. What up, David? I am going to the middle of Tennessee, like 90 miles south of Nashville or so, and I have some frozen food with me. After that, in the morning I'll be headed to Nashville to drop off some more food at a grocery store, and then after that I will be headed out of Tennessee and going to Ohio. What are you doing this evening, David? winter sky today, huh? I guess it's still technically fall, but this is some really, really dreary winter sky ahead of me, or above, behind, and ahead of me today. It was really sunny out earlier today. Just a gorgeous day. And then I got stuck in traffic for that truck fire, and bam, like the sky just turned gray. But right before I got stopped because of that truck fire, the weather was perfect. That was like, that truck fire was like the bad omen of the day. Hopefully nothing else happens the rest of the day for anyone else or for me. Obviously bad things are going to happen in the world in the next few hours. But maybe they'll be a little less than usual, hopefully. But I am pretty rested after my break. I had some really good food. Obviously, like I was with that woman for like 26 hours or whatever. So that was good, generally. So I feel good. I feel good. I'm going to be driving for the next 14, 15 days straight. And then I will be taking another 3-day break after that. Usually I'd be out for longer. Usually I'm out for 3, 4, 5 weeks. But I will be taking another 3-day break in 14 or 15 days because I'm going to drive through Christmas and New Year's. So I'm going to be driving from like December 23rd until like January 5th. And then after that, I'm going to take like a proper vacation probably. So like proper vacation meaning like the islands in the Caribbean or something like that. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do. I just got a little sad. I'm actually supposed to be married at this point. For those of you watching that don't know, I was engaged this spring until everything fell apart. So I'm still obviously a little sad. That's obviously very raw. And when I started talking about the islands and the vacation, I started thinking of her and like how she should be with me on this trip, but she's not going to be, obviously. So I don't know what I'm going to do on this break after Christmas, New Year's driving. I'm guessing it'll be the Caribbean or something else. I wish it was an athletic trip. What I mean by athletic trip is, I mean, I guess I could just go skiing too. The only reason I wouldn't go skiing is because all my gear is in storage. That's one. That's not the biggest factor. The biggest factor is that I'm not in shape. And while some people ski when they're not in shape, it's just not the best idea. For a lot of reasons, injuries, but not even injuries so much as I would be concerned about, but more so the fact that my endurance level and my muscles wouldn't be properly geared up for skiing. Like if you're gonna, like when I go skiing, I ski the whole freaking day, like no breaks, non-stop. I stop for like sandwiches and hot chocolate and water when I go skiing. So I'd love to take my winter break on a ski mountain, but like I said, I'm not in shape. My gear is in storage, so that probably won't happen. So it'll probably be in the Caribbean or South America somewhere. I had an incident in Mexico, so I'm not allowed in Mexico. As far as I know, I don't think I'm allowed in Mexico right now. Like the consulate won't give me a definitive answer, so there's that. So it's not going to be Mexico. So it'll either be the Caribbean or South America. And I don't think I'm going to tell you guys. You know what? I probably will tell you what happened in Mexico and why I'm persona non grata in the country, but not today. I probably will tell you it on the stream though. Hey, if you're not banned from at least one country, are you really living? That's what I said. That's my motto. People in this pickup truck are nice. They waved at me. I've had some people be really nice out here, and I've had some a-holes, obviously, and I've had some people hold up some really some signs that says some things that I'm not going to repeat on stream. Let's put it that way. up soon. All I've had today is blueberries and a fig bar. I tend not to eat for the first few hours of the day. Not really for fasting reasons, more because I'm just able to be really productive just on coffee and water in the beginning of the day. So I'll just have some black coffee, whether it be iced or hot. I'll have some black coffee and water for the first few hours of the day, and I'm able to operate at a high level. So that's what I do. And then after the first few hours of the day, say like 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, usually around 3 or 4 hours, then I eat something. Obviously, a fig bar and blueberries is food, and I'm not saying I'm not counting those as food. Those are food. And I had been up for 3 or 4 hours before I had that, when I did eat that today. And while it is food, it's not that much food. So. Something about this black car in front of me I don't like, just the way their car is moving. I don't know if the guy or girl is on their phone or they're under the influence, but I don't like the way the car is moving. Whenever I use my microwave lately, I keep on forgetting to close the door. It's not something that's gonna harm me in any way, but it's really weird. I just don't close the door. So I'm pretty sure the door to the microwave is open right now. And it's just weird. I don't know. It's just a weird, forgetful thing to do. shackled by lust? Are you shackled by lust? Because Jesus will set you free. Call 83 for truth. That's what that billboard says. Shackled by lust, Jesus sets you free. Is anyone shackled by lust? I know I am. Actually, I would be shackled by lust here and there. So I'm pretty sure we're still in Kentucky. If that sounds weird, sometimes I don't forget where I am. Sometimes I miss the sign entering another state, and I'm in so many places all the time that I kind of just lose the exact track of exactly where I am. Like, I could point myself out, this is gonna sound weird, I could point myself out on a map right now pretty accurately, but sometimes I don't remember what state I'm in. I know that that's kind of full of a few contradictions, but it is what it is. Nah, we're still in Kentucky. So we're in Kentucky, headed to Tennessee, a little south of Nashville. And then after that, we are headed to southern Tennessee, back to Nashville, back to southern Tennessee, and then up to Ohio for tomorrow. Probably I'll be in Ohio like Monday morning or something like that, Monday afternoon. No rush on the Ohio run. I am dropping at a grocery store in the morning though, so I have to be there at 5:30 or 5:30 tomorrow morning. Freaking grocery stores. We'll be getting off the road in a few miles to get fuel and have some food, but I will be keeping the stream running, so you can come along with me. If you guys like the stream, be sure to subscribe, but also do me one more favor. Double tap on your screen and that will give me a thumbs up. So if you're liking the stream, subscribe and double tap on your screen because that'll give me a thumbs up. Thanks everyone. think I was at this, I'm going to a flying jet. I think I'm going to a flying jet. There's a pilot and a flying jet across from each other. I'm definitely going to the flying jet because the pilot, I think I was here a few days ago, the pilot, at least a few days ago, the pumps were down. They were either out of fuel or their pumps weren't working. I didn't need fuel, so I didn't ask what was going on. I probably wouldn't have asked what was going on anyway if I needed fuel. I probably just would have went somewhere else, but I'm pretty sure this is where I was the other day. Yeah, I'm almost positive this is where I was the other day. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. I'll tell you in a second. There was someone behind me, but it turns out there isn't. I'm going crazy. I'm going absolutely nuts. Alright, let's see. I still don't know if this is, you know what, this is not where I was. This is not where I was. A few days ago. This is another pilot flying J tandem off of a highway. This guy's either asking for money or asking to go somewhere. Probably asking for money. I don't know if you saw that there was a guy with a sign out, flying a sign, looking for some money or or a ride somewhere. He was almost certainly asking for some money. Yeah, this is not the flying J from the other day. My microwave is open. It's so odd that I keep on doing that. Luckily, that's the only mistake I've really been making out here on the road, so I guess that's okay. So I'm gonna get some fuel, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna leave the stream running, so don't worry about that. Okay. It's fun. Also, fun fact, guys. The girl I was with this week was sick. She had like some kind of cold, flu, or some kind of weird thing. Hopefully, it wasn't COVID. So I might get sick. That's awesome. No, I really hope that my sins this week don't lead to sickness. I will be very unimpressed. It is a really horrible experience being really sick on a truck, and it's an even worse experience being sick on a truck during the winter. I don't recommend at all. It's really bad. Can't leave the reefer out. We need to put some fuel in the tank for the engine on the front of my trailer that keeps the trailer cold. It is a refrigerated unit, and we use the slang term reefer for that, to describe that. I am off my game on that today. Sorry about the truck shutting off. That's annoying. Wash my hands. I got a York peppermint patty and I did 25 push-ups. I'm gonna park for a little bit, eat some food, and then we'll get back out of here. Go ahead, don't worry about the fact that I'm moving too. No worries. So we're not parking here for the night or anything crazy like that. I'm literally just stopping to eat some food and then we're gonna get back on the road. So I think I'm gonna go with the possibly bad Stouffer's meal. Hopefully I don't die. I think I'll be fine. It's not snowing, is it? Am I going crazy? while I'm parked, let me just say, guys, like, if you guys have some friends, some family members, some coworkers, please share the channel with them. I want this to grow. And some of the ways that things grow are organically like that. Some of the ways things go are because they go viral. I'm hoping for both, but sometimes you don't get your dreams to come true, do you? So I got a lot of healthy food yesterday at Target. I got grilled chicken and rice. I got blueberries, I got fig bars, I got coffee, I got bananas and water. I am eating a Stouffer's meal that fell on the ground. Like the food didn't fall on the ground, like the box fell on the ground at some point last night because the fridge is overflowing. And I missed picking it up because it like fell like in a crevice. And I saw it this morning and I put it back in the fridge. Honestly, I think it'll be fine. I hate wasting food. And I think it'll be fine. I think I'll be fine. But hopefully I'll be fine, right? Sometimes when I'm living rough, sometimes when I'm just living, I think of the ridiculousness of like royal life and how, not necessarily today, but maybe today too, how royalty doesn't wear the same clothes twice. I think that's unreal and freaking ridiculous. Yeah. What do you guys think about royalty never wearing the same clothes twice? And some of us wearing our clothes till they have holes or longer. So like I said, I'm gonna eat a little bit. I have a Stouffer's chicken parm meal. I do have some healthier food on the truck. I'm gonna save some grilled chicken and some rice and butter for my meal later on today. But this is what I'm eating now. It's a chicken parm and spaghetti with tomato sauce meal from Stouffer's. And then we will head out into the abyss. That is the American roadway. Let me know where you guys are watching from. I know we had a viewer from France earlier. I'm guessing there's a few more viewers from Europe and some viewers from the US. I'm guessing there's a couple from Germany too. If you guys have any questions for me about what it's like to live on the truck, about anything at all, let me know. This is the time to ask, because I can read your comments right away. Sadly, I have not gotten a good streak going with my push-ups. Lately, a couple years ago, I was on like probably like a 50, 60, 70-day streak with my push-ups. Like a year before that, I was on like a 150-day streak with my push-ups. I'd like to just do them every day. Sickness usually stops me out, and I don't know if I should say I should push through that or not, but sickness is usually what stops me out of my push-up streaks. If not, just injuries in general. I was on a really good push-up streak during 2020, right before COVID like hit properly. I was on a really good push-up streak, and I fell down a mountain on the ice in Colorado Springs when I was running down the mountain. I was actually racing this girl down a mountain. She asked me if I wanted to race. I just met her. She asked me if I wanted to race, and of course I said yes. And I had cleats on, like I had snow spikes on. But I took the snow spikes off like right before the end of the mountain to go to run even faster. And there was one more section of ice, and I went down really hard, right on my wrist, and that stopped my really long push-up streak. So yeah, hopefully I can get a good streak going. Like I said, I just did 25 push-ups. The last time I did push-ups was the 25th of November. So let's say push-up streak starts today for good till the day I die. That would be really cool. Alright guys, we're gonna get out of here. We are leaving right now. Right now! Get up and go, motherfucker! Do I have water? Yes. Do I have a little coffee? Yes. Let's go. That sound you're hearing right now is me adjusting my steering. All right, let's go. if you're watching this and you are an able-bodied human, do some push-ups. Get down on the floor, on your face, and do some push-ups, please. It will only benefit you. It will only benefit you. I did 25. You guys should do at least 5. If you're in better shape than that, then do 10 or 15 or 20. But I would say almost every able-bodied adult should be able to do 5 push-ups. And if you can't do 5, then do 1 or 2. But try. Get on your face. I have a slight stomach ache after eating. Hopefully everything was okay with my food. I told you it had fallen out of my freezer onto the ground and I didn't see it for actually a while, so hopefully it's okay. I think I'll be fine. on the I-24, and we are headed just south of Nashville, Tennessee right now. There is another semi-truck directly left of us at the moment. This truck coming up on the left is actually a flatbed truck. It does not look like a flatbed truck to you guys because it has a canvas covering. It has like a whalebone frame. I'm going to call it a whalebone frame. That's not the term. A whalebone frame connected to the bed of the truck, the bed of the trailer, and then there's a canvas covering that is wrapped around the whalebone frame, and that's what makes it look like a regular trailer. But so it's a flatbed truck, flatbed trailer, flatbed truck, and what they do is that frame stays on. The frame stays on. The canvas is off when they're loading it, and they can load it from the sides, from the back, from up above onto the trailer. The whatever they're putting on the trailer, be it machinery or a bobcat or lumber or steel, etc., they'll strap that down, and then they'll wrap the canvas around the whalebone frame to further protect whatever is being carried on the trailer. We are entering Tennessee. Here we go. So that canvas covering around the whalebone frame on top of that flatbed trailer is protecting, like I said, like a Caterpillar, tractor, steel, lumber, other machinery, pipes, storage lockers, whatever type of goods they want to put on that trailer. And it's just an extra layer of protection. Regardless, it is still a flatbed trailer at the end of the day. out here is when someone passes me and slows down. Yeah, it's not good. I guess I should be really specific. When someone passes me, and then gets in front of me and then slows down, that is probably the worst thing that happens out here on a regular basis. A Jeep Wrangler right on my ass, and I mean, he is trying to kiss me. Wrangler still on my ass. He's a little further back. But if I have to brake hard, he's going to careen right into my suicide bar. That accident. Well, I don't know if, well, you guys, well, half of you watch my live stream plus my shorts, so some of you almost definitely saw that short like a week or so ago where that pickup truck slammed into the back of that semi-trailer and went under and was the size of a Fiat at the end of it. That's pretty much what would happen if I had to stop really hard, and because the Jeep Wrangler would crumple right onto the back of my trailer. don't want that to happen. Thank you. I will try my hardest to keep safe. I do need that reminder sometimes, so keep them coming. Sometimes I do push the limits a little too far. Confidence is a bitch. I've been in a lot of situations on the road, and because I've been in a lot of situations on the road, sometimes I push the limits a bit too far. Car did it to me twice. This is the same car that passed me, got in front of me, and slowed down a little while ago. This is the same. They did it again. This is the same exact car. I can't stand people like this. I really can't. That is dangerous to say the least. What are you doing, buddy? Now they're speeding up again. I can see his console in the center of his car. I think he's distracted by his phone plus his console. He has the light on in his car too. What a clown. What a freaking clown. What a freaking clown. Why am I hot? Why am I getting hot right now? I don't know. Am I going through menopause? What's going on right now? There's a disabled truck coming up on the right. You guys cannot see him yet. I saw him. That's why I'm getting on the left right now. these following cars on these trailers almost created a fun accident. Look at this little sedan trying to look around that trailer. Like, dude, there's obviously an accident or something. Like, chill. These people really need to calm down. Yeah, a lot of these drivers are being kind of jerk-offish. So I saw hazards from far back there. I thought it was just a disabled truck. It was this. It was this of what's going on right now. I do see some flashing lights, so this should be pretty short-lived. Man, the I-24 is screwed up today, huh? Wow. That massive truck fire earlier, and now this, whatever this is. Look at this moron in the BMW. Yes, you gained 1 inch. Dude, you gained 1 inch by getting in front of me. 1 inch. I'm pretty calm generally. I'm a little slightly on edge right now because this is the second accident of the day I need to deal with. I sat stationary for 25 minutes during that one, and I just want to freaking drive. Like, patience definitely has an absolute value, and I've hit my absolute value of the day for patience. So whatever that it was, I think it was just a traffic stop. It's over. That was quite the backup for a traffic stop. I'm going to end the stream for the moment. I might be back later on. I will definitely be back with tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon.